Thanks, Wes. And in other news, that 47-year-old man who said that he was kidnapped at Consumer gas station really was kidnapped at Salt River. So why did he lie? News Channel 8's Wes Small has the answer.
Consumer gas station has certainly been getting some bad negative publicity lately. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now I'm going to tell you what really happened. Of course, we're talking about the arrest of 26-year-old Carlos Nieves from Estate Profit. Believe it or not, Judge Donahue yesterday told him in his advice of rights hearing he's looking at 80 years in jail with all these charges, around 8 charges, kidnapping all the way to destruction of property. Now let's take it back it was in March 6th, as a matter of fact, Friday night, at Consumer gas station. But wait a minute, it wasn't at Consumer gas station. It was right here at Salt River. Now the truth comes out because a 47-year-old man was cheating on his wife up here with a young lady. That's when Carlos Nieves, a suspect, allegedly, him and 3 other masked men with ski masks, had machine guns and pistols. And that's when they accosted the young lady and this 47-year-old man here, not Consumer gas station. Now, they ordered them to the ground, and this is testimony coming from the female in court yesterday, right? After they ordered them to the ground, they pulled them up, pistol whipped them, stuffed the man in the trunk of his own car, and told the woman to just start footing it out into the middle of the sea. And that's what she did. She was afraid for her life, and she kept going out there until she treaded water. Then she was found by a man in a dinghy. What a man in a dinghy was doing out here at 1 o'clock in the morning, I have no clue. But these details are still sketchy, and they're getting juicier and juicier by the day. Then she refused police help. She refused emergency help. She just wanted to go home and get this drama over with. Now, meanwhile, the man was shot several times while in the trunk of his own car. That is a known fact. But then he went off island to seek medical treatment. But when he got back, investigators wanted to dig a little further. This reporter always have strange gut feelings when things happen, and this story was one of them. Consumer gas stations have been closed for a few hours. What's a 47-year-old man doing there, putting air in his tire or something like that? Let's face it, Consumer and Grove can be a hostile territory. I mean, not all the time, but it can be. You know, it almost reminds me of the 2 black men took my baby. The 2 black men carjacked me. Remember that? That's always the number one call for white people when they get in trouble in the United States. Not all the time, but let's face it, that 2 black men theory, that thing is kind of getting worn out. Well, now they're kind of throwing it to Consumer gas station. That's the excuse. Look, Consumer gas station, that's where a lot of robberies happen. I'll say I got robbed there. Nah, that didn't happen. He got jacked here. Carjacked, stuffed in his own trunk of his own car because he was cheating on his wife. So then he had to turn the story around and say he got robbed at Consumer gas station. Here's the problem with that. That hampers investigators days and weeks. And meanwhile, the real perpetrators of the crime, they are set free to prey on the community. But thank God to persistent investigators, they found out what really happened. He was up here in Salt River, not Consumer gas station. And now the story gets a little thicker and juicier. Meanwhile, Carlos Nieves is looking at 80 years in prison if all these charges stick. So now you have the real story. It's Salt River, not Consumer. So, word to the wise, while you're out here in remote areas watching the submerged submarines, you know, the submarine races, things like that. Hey, we all know about Lover's Lane, Kramer's Park, also the Lagoon, Salt River. These are old love haunts, if you will. But I got to tell you something. You got to be real careful because these bad guys know what you're up to, and they will rob you. They will assault you. The truth is what it is. I'm Wes Small at Salt River, not Consumer, for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And now let's take a look at your Caribbean report. In Barbados, Bridgetown, following last week's announcement that the country had recorded its first case of the H1N1 influenza, the Ministry of Health disclosed on Monday that Barbados now has another confirmed case of the virus. The individual is unrelated to the first case. And in Jamaica, Buckingham Palace has formally announced that the Queen has approved the submission of Governor General of Jamaica, Patrick Allen, to be knighted Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George. The governor will be knighted on Friday, June 12th. And that's a look at your Caribbean report, and Stanley and his 10 sleepless nights are up next. Stay with us on News Channel 8. Stanley and the Sleepless Nights gave a Lucky Education Complex graduate a financial boost. Let's take a look.
On behalf of the 10 Sleepless Nights, I present to Sasha Alexander this scholarship money so that she could continue school. We know you're going to do good, and we know you're going to come back and make me proud of. We done proud already, but we're going to be proud of you when you come back to tell us what you're doing.
My name is Sasha Alexander. I've been playing music for about 6 years, and I've been playing choir music for 4 years, and I play the flute in the choir band, and I'm also the section leader of the choir band. Playing with Stanley and Sleepless Nights have been such an honor to play with the Virgin Islands Idols, and also not only the Virgin Islands, but they've played many places before, and I would love to one day go on tour with them. Getting the scholarship, I was really excited. You know, my mom already told me that I was going to get it hands down. But I was like, no, mommy, let's not jinx me. You know, next thing I don't get it. But, you know, getting the scholarship, I'm really excited, and it's definitely going to help me in my attendance of Howard University. After I do get my degree, I would like to come back and instill our choir music within our youth to make sure that we keep our choir music alive and well in our Virgin Islands. Make sure that it's always there. Choir music will always be our cultural music.
You know, on behalf of the Synchro Educational Complex, we would really like to thank Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights, not only for the scholarship, but for working with our students on a regular basis. They've been here for a number of years, and they have built a sense of pride and tradition within the school in terms of being a Virgin Islander, what it is to play Virgin Island music and dance to Virgin Island music. And I'm so proud when I see these students play, when I see Sasha, along with the other members of the choir band, play that traditional type of music that is native to St. Croix. And I feel very honored when individuals are walking in and they don't know that it's not Stanley, and our band is playing, and they're looking for Stanley, and then they see the complex band and they say, wow, you know, this song pretty similar to Stanley. And a lot of people have come in and say, hey, this song just like Stanley. I say, well, they got a song like Stanley, got Stanley taught them. So they're playing almost the exact same like them. So we have been able to accomplish a lot through this community partnership, and I want to encourage them to continue to work with our schools. And we're very glad to have them as partners for the Synchro Educational Complex. This is a great group of guys. Sasha is a wonderful music student, a wonderful student, and she also does well academically. So it's just not in playing the flute. She's also sings very well. She sang at our last night ceremony. So she's a good, very good student, very good singer. I think very deserving of the honor. And the good thing about it is she's going to study music, and she's been accepted to Howard University. So we're very proud of that opportunity. She was at Howard University in January.
Yes.
And we met with the music professor, and she did an audition. We carried up a flute, and she was not yet accepted. But based on her audition, the band, the jazz director, Dr. Irby, he went straight over to the admission office, and he made sure that she was accepted, and she was accepted that same day, right after she did the audition. You know, so the music definitely allowed her to get in a bit easier. So we're happy for